And it lights it up really nicely, but it's only got the 3 colors and they're all just basic. Oh my God, Phil, you're so cursed looking with all the red. Looks like you got dragged to the pits of hell. I can't get over that, bro. That's crazy. Start the episode.
All right.
Start it right now. Take the energy.
Welcome to the Content Mill, the show where 4 creators from 4 corners of the internet all get together to talk about what we are making and what we are playing. My name is Gianni. I'm your host for today. With me, as always, are my 3 stud muffin co-hosts.
Ooh.
We're starting with Nate, Heroic Headgear. How you doing today, my friend?
I'm feeling like a stud muffin.
That's right, man. We're coming in hot, dude. It's a hot time of year. You know what I mean?
This is gonna be a hot episode.
It's a sexy one.
I don't know how we topped the last one though. There was a record number of
it was sweat.
balls.
It got sweaty.
I think we're shifting away from balls this episode.
We might.
I think is.
I have a feeling. Yeah.
Yep.
I have a feeling.
Well, Phil, Mr. 70% complete. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm feeling hot. I'm feeling loved, and I might
nice.
feel like I need to cry a little bit.
Oh,
That's
well,
nice.
we're here for you, buddy. We're here for you. Eric, Mr. the Human, aka Mr. the Human Plays. How you doing today, my friend?
I'm good. I got my silk jammies on. I'm ready to talk about romance.
Let me say something. Eric is looking cozy right now.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Let's ignore that it's staticky as hell. And that I'm losing my mind trying not to move too much and shock myself and crash my PC.
Yes, we, in case you haven't figured it out yet, we wanted to do a little fun thing today. We are talking about our favorite romances in gaming, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time of year. Valentine's Day just passed. Hopefully you had a fun day with your special somebody. If you haven't yet, go buy that person some goddamn flowers and take them to dinner, okay? We need you taking care of your partners, all right, ladies and gentlemen and MBs.
Yeah.
I know I had a great time, but before we get to that, I don't want to give away too much. We got to go through our run of the mill housekeeping. I do not have much to tell you guys today, except for we've put out some banger episodes for our first 3 episodes of January. So go make sure you go check us out. We dropped our Metroid Prime retrospective spoiler cast review with the homie Cognitive Clips. We did the spiciest fantasy draft, if I do say so myself, I think ever put on video and on audio. And we also just caught up a little bit, spent some time reminiscing on the last couple months, what we've been playing, what we've been doing, all the cool things that we've been doing on our downtime that isn't just for this podcast. That was a really fun time. So go make sure you check out the first few episodes of the Content Mill for 2026. We also have some really fun, really new, really different, really unique content coming up on the channel. Some new things. We're trying out some new different formats, things like that, that I'm really excited for you guys to see as well. I'm not going to spend too much time on housekeeping today. Oh, also, last week was our peak community event. We had a really good time. I don't want to spoil too much. Go make sure you check out that video on demand. It's a hell of a time. We had an awesome time for the peak event. Nate, the homie, always doing big business over there on Twitch, twitch.tv/heroicheadgear. Go make sure you check it out. Anyway, did I get everything?
I think you got it all. Yeah.
Was the energy fine?
No, that
okay.
was good.
All right.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me take a breath. Hold on. I need some water too. I think it's getting hot in here.
He's
y'all.
thirsty, boys.
Ooh.
It's getting hot. I need to hydrate. You know why, fellas? We're talking love. We're talking romance. Let me tell you something, guys.
Mhm.
This is the Content Mill after dark. This is the magic hour.
This is dangerous.
This is
I
the
have
magic
too much
hour.
lights on.
This is the magic hour. I'm keeping it sexy up in here. You know what I mean?
Let me.
Oh, here we go. Look at that silk, dude. There we go.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Get a little dark.
yeah,
Like,
light a
we'll
candle.
be
If you're
back.
at home,
We'll be back.
wherever you're at, if you're at home, if you're in your car, light a candle. You know what I mean? Light some candles. I don't care if you're in your car.
Light a candle in your car.
if you're at the
Completely safe behavior.
there it is. Nate,
Completely safe behavior.
just like drive with the steering wheel on your knees and just light a candle real quick.
Yeah.
Nate's making it.
There
sexy
we
too.
go.
There it is. There it is.
Is that's not a Sith lightsaber, is it? On the
No, the Sith one's
that
on
shit
the
makes
wall.
noise,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
it's
it does.
on-
That's why it stays off. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Got to disconnect that wire. That'd be a sick background lighting.
Well, like I said, this is the Content Mill After Dark, and today we are talking about our favorite video game romances. One thing about gaming is not only do we look for engaging gameplay in our games, but I know this group right here, we're very big into story. We're very big into narrative. Those are some key elements for us when we look at our gaming taste. So I figured, you know what? It's the reason for the season. Love is in the air. Let's talk about our favorite video game romance, love stories, connections, ships, whatever you guys want to talk about.
Ooh,
I thought it would be funny for us to dive into some of our favorites. Does that sound good, guys?
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
All right. And we're bringing the sexy today. Just forewarning to everybody at home. All right. Don't get too excited. Or maybe do. I don't know.
I suspect the B-roll will be quite exciting this episode.
It's going to be pretty
Oh, yeah.
exciting.
Keep the lotion.
Oops. Whoa! I was just gonna say it's gonna get the blood pumping. Holy
You took
shit!
it. Nate took it to 11. All right.
We know what we're doing. We know where we are.
It's
hope
February.
no.
It's dry out in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Keep those hands nice.
Okay,
and
One
there
of
we
us
go.
is
Thank
in
you. Thank you.
silk pajamas. Okay.
One of us is in silk pajamas.
I'm just trying to be
One of us
comfy.
in silk
all right? I'm
pajamas.
setting a vibe.
That's true. So you know what? Actually, since you're the man with the silky smooth pajamas, Eric.
Uh-huh,
Why don't we start with you, my friend? Let's talk about
all
some of
right.
your favorite gaming romances, love stories, anything that you want to shout out. And we'll go around the horn and kind of talk about our favorites.
All right. Well, I have a couple. Just I'm getting a prop ready for you. Yeah. Just
got a prop?
Prop during.
I do have a prop.
romance
I do have a prop,
episode.
but
What could it be?
what could it be? What could it be? It's just a card.
Oh,
Yeah. It's Valentine's Day.
Heart of the cards?
Heart of the cards, kind of, a little bit. We're just going to, it's a little bit of tarot, and I'm going to talk about one of my favorite games of all time. Consistently in the mix for top 3, maybe number 1, depending on my mood. Persona 5 Royale specifically. Not that really matters, but we have the tarot cards from Persona 5. And you would think, oh, Eric's going to talk about the lover. He's going to talk about Anne, who's the confidant for the lover. No, I'm not. I'm going to talk about the Empress, which is Makoto Nijima from Persona 5, Persona 5 Royale, Persona 5 Strikers, all the other Personas. If you look at her and you know anything about me, it's very obvious why she was interesting to me. That is straight up my type. And you think, yes, okay, cool, great. She's a cutie. They're all cute, right? It's Atlas. They designed characters very well. Great art direction. And basically what I try to do in these type of games, specifically when there's, I don't know, I think there's like fucking 10 dateable characters, and you can date them all in Persona 5, and you get a hilarious ending on Valentine's Day where they kick your ass. It's really fucking funny.
Hell yeah.
It's real good. And there's also platonic stuff, right? Because you can choose to not go out with anybody on Valentine's Day and you just hang out with your best bud Ryuji, and it's a real good time. But I'm going to talk about two Atlas games. They're going to lead into each other. But Makoto, she is what I like in to romance in games, because she feels the most, in my opinion, it's completely up to everybody's interpretation, most connected to the main plot. She feels like the 1A or 1B or 1C to your main character's 1A. I don't want to get into too many plot details, but her sister, Sai, is the the police officer, the detective that's interrogating you throughout the game. You have that concept of being like, she's a part of your team. She has a detective as a sister, and you have that kind of like tension. And then you also have the like fact that she's like student council president. No one really likes her at school. You're not sure why. Then you get to know her a bit, and she's just kind of like been very sheltered her whole life. And like, what's nice about Persona is that what's it called? The side stuff that you do, like the social links is what I'll just refer to them as, that you do with each character. They kind of are their own side story. They don't necessarily affect the plot, but it does feel like it does feed into like your enjoyment of the game, because it's like, oh man, me and this character have gone so far, and it makes sense now why, we are this tight. Right? If you don't talk to them or do anything, you can still have those good moments and stuff, but you don't have the background and everything like that. With hers, it's a very simple, cute story, and it's something I like related to, because this is something I'd had to do, because I grew up, I was raised by women. My dad worked a lot. I've always connected more, like my friendships have always been with women, and I work in my entire professional life has been in a field where I'm mostly the only guy. My entire bachelor's degree, it was me and 4 other guys that were the only ones in these classes that we were taking them. And what I had to do with my completely platonic relationship sometimes is pretend to be a boyfriend to make people leave a person a fucking alone. And that's how it starts with Makoto. Is you slowly work up to that, and she asks you to pretend to be her boyfriend, to like get inside, like to go on double dates with her friend, because she doesn't trust her boyfriend, her friend's boyfriend, and stuff like that. And it's just these cute little interactions that kind of leads into like, we've been pretending to be boyfriend and girlfriend real well, kind of thing. And then it leads into a very cute thing. But it's just a very platonic, very nice, and in my mind, a canonical, because of the way the story is written and the fact that like her sister is such a big deal. She's an early party member. I think she's the 5th one you get. And she's with you the whole way. She has a lot of very important moments with other characters in the party that kind of help develop them. She feels like the co-star or alongside you, which is like a big requisite for me when it comes to like, oh, this is not just a character, like, because you can date. There's another character, I think Mifumi is her name, and she's like a chess player, and she's dope as fuck, but she's just a chess player student that you have these cute interactions with. She doesn't have anything to do with the story. So I was like, I want the person to be a part of the story. That's always kind of a prerequisite, which then leads me to my actual favorite Atlas romance that is not an actual Atlas romance, because there are no romances in Metaphor. But they definitely imply that there is one, because they were like, what if we took the canonical romance and just made it have to happen in the story, which is with Yufa from Metaphor, Refantazio. When you meet her, it feels like fate, and she's a princess, she's a priest, she's all this stuff to her small like island. She's like a part of the one of the 8 races that's like, they're the outcasts, they're the heretics and stuff like that. And it's a very cool development over time. And as you level up her social link, you get closer and closer, learn more customs and things like that. And I don't want to spoil it because it's like one of the best moments in the game. But you basically, by the end of the game, everyone's like, those two are married, right? Like, it's one of those things where Atlas kind of took what other people have said, like, oh, this is the canonical relationship, this is the canonical relationship, this is the canonical relationship, and just be like, let's just actually make one of the party members the canonical thing without you even realizing it, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a very good, and I historically, you guys know the Atlas games have always been one of those, like, I try, and then I kind of fall off. But it is very much the way you're making it sound is it's a show don't tell. Right. And I think that's so important about these kinds of experiences, is that they need to feel earned in a way that isn't just like, they're in love. Like, it doesn't, it shouldn't be that way. You know what I mean? And that's what that sounds like.
Yeah, it's a really, really good time, and I really, really enjoy it. And yeah, I would recommend both those games, but they're obviously huge commitments. Metaphor is obviously, I honestly think if you're looking to get into an Atlas game, just go into Metaphor. It's got all the edges smoothed off, and it's just a really good game. I look forward to seeing Johnny play it one Monday, and
It'll happen. I tried with Metaphor. I really did. I played like I want to say like 15 hours of Metaphor, and to keep it on topic, I know Atlas is so well regarded for its relationship system and the bonding mechanics and things like that. And it was one of those things where I'm like, I'm not like head over heels about this game, but like I see that appeal. For me, it more came down to a gameplay thing, but I could see the earned relationships between all those characters, and it just the Atlas just does that so well. I can see that even as an outsider.
Yeah, I want to correct myself. I called this the Empress. It's the Priestess, and I wanted to bring that up because, super fake fan. I'm sorry, it's in another language, and I fucking forgot. These are a fucking litmus test because I went into Persona 3 and I romanced the other priestess without realizing it. And they could not be any fucking different like characters. But I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, when I beat Persona 3, I was like, oh, I can't wait to meet the priestess in Persona 4. I know who I'm going to go after. Yeah. But it's so funny that they have it, because they're not even the same type of character. One's a support. She's not even she's a part of the party member, but she's like the behind the scenes person.
Yeah.
And then Makoto's nickname is the fucking Fist of Justice, bro. Like,
oh yeah.
her awakening of when she gets her persona is probably my favorite one in the game, and it's like so powerful. It is so sick. And then Yufa in Metaphor, she literally she's the summoner. She basically by the end of the game summons personas from Persona. It's incredible. So yeah, I just wanted to correct myself so people, I'm sorry.
For video listeners, you can see the card.
Yeah.
He switched them.
Yeah. It's the I knew. So here's the thing. I knew what card she was without reading it. I just forgot what confidant name she was, which was Priestess. But yeah, it is very funny. I'm curious. I should message my buddy, my other like Persona fan buddy, and be like, because we always end up going. That's one of our like points of bonding. Whenever we play games that have romance, we always accidentally go for the same exact person. Yeah. And so we always now check like, hey, who are you going after? So we can have different experiences. Yeah. And I'd be very curious to see who he went after. I think he went after, Haru in 5. And then I don't know if he made it to 3, but I'd be curious if after his experience with Haru, who is the Empress, if he also went for the Empress in 3, because it would be very funny without realizing you're like, oh, got it. Oh, I think he did actually. Now that I'm looking at who the Empress is, that's fucking Mitsuru. That's a Gianni character right there. Yeah, that's let me this is for the
the art design.
I mean, this is an everybody character. To be fair,
tippy tapping over
to
here.
be fair, yeah. But let's look at her all out attack line as well.
Wait, what game is this? Hold on now.
This is Persona 3 Reload.
Oh, well.
Oh yeah,
guys, I'm gonna be streaming Persona 3 Monday through Friday.
And you haven't even seen her the one that makes everybody actually like freak out, which is she only, when you have a conversation with her in the kitchen, she has her hair up and people lose their goddamn mind about her hair up. So just keep, I'm giving you the clips. So you can just go ahead and look at the hair up. It's a good look, man. Good ass art direction.
Oh Lord. All right, moving on. All right, before we get too excited,
Are we gonna pass it off to somebody else?
yeah, we can
and
do
then,
that. We can do that. We can
okay,
come back
okay.
to you. We can come back to you. Phil, what's one you
right.
you want to shout out?
So we've talked a little bit about tarot. We've talked a little bit about how we play games and what we're looking for in romance characters. I have 3 that are connected here that I will just throw out because we kind of talked about this in the pre-show and maybe it made it in the episode. This is called the BioWare block. BioWare just does romance kind of in mostly one kind of way where you have fun chit chats and then you go on a mission and then later you smooch. That's kind of how it goes. There's 3, so I'm pulling from Mass Effect and Dragon Age here. But since we're talking about tarot and fun characters, gotta shout out my girl Josephine from Dragon Age Inquisition. She actually is not a party member. They do a cool thing in Inquisition where you can romance, I think, most of the party members, and then there's a couple of people who you go back to who are like mission givers that are really cool. There's Leliana, who is the spy and also a priest. There is Cullen, who we're not going to talk about because that guy sucks, both in game and in real life, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
And then there's Josephine, who is an Antivan diplomat who is like attached to the court of Orlais, which are a lot of things that I just said, but basically she's from fantasy Spain and she works in the embassy for fantasy France.
Okay.
And she's great. She's like a really cute, delightful character, and you kind of help her figure out her life thing. She's like bringing back her merchant family throughout the game. But the thing that I love about Josephine, and also one of my other favorite Mass Effect characters, is that you end up returning back to base after a mission and you kind of like download with her and kind of get to spend some time with her. And it's this really cool dynamic of like, you are not out there killing people. Like, you're not out there dealing with all this nonsense. Like, this is time for us to come together and like really like regroup on what's going on and talk about our shared different experiences, which kind of reminds me of Mass Effect, which is the Tali situation. Tali is probably my favorite romance in 1 and I guess 3. She is a delightful character. She's the purple Quarian alien. There's a lot of really cool lore about the Quarians and how they were sent out into the migrant fleet because the Geth, which are the robots, and basically they have been stuck on their migrant fleet for their entire, last several centuries, which means that biologically they are a spaceship-born race, which means that they live in spacesuits. Like, they cannot take the suits off. And the thing that I really like about that in the first game is that there is not really a lot of implied intimacy. Like, most of the close connections you have with the other alien species or other people on board the Normandy, it like follows the BioWare thing of like, we're going to go out on missions together, and then we're going to chit chat, and then we're going to smooch. And
full bang, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. And like with Tali in the first game, you can't really do that. Like, she would die. And like, that's kind of the whole like build up to the third game, is that like there is like some payoff there, but it means that the game has to shift focus. Like, it can't be the same thing, kind of just like Josephine, where it can't be the let's come back together and talk about all the murder that we did or like how we saved each other. It's, it's a much more personal focus, and the same deal with Tali. And then shout out to my boy Thane, who is just an incredible dude who I love from the Suicide Mission. If you don't know, I guess, who Thane is, he is an assassin dude from Mass Effect 2, the best sniper in the galaxy or something. But he's dying, and this is like his one last mission. So another like weird romance thing with him is that like you get to do all the Mass Effect like BioWare stuff, but the twist there is that like he will die, and like he does die in the third game. Like he just like fully, if he makes it through the suicide mission, no matter what, he has a terminal illness and that's it. And like, this is just his like kind of last intimacy. Yeah. Like it's last time to like fall in love and have a good time. And I guess all three of those, now that I think about it, are all bummers. Spoiler alert, the rest of my romances are also bummers. But I think it makes the characters be a bit deeper, and it means that when you choose to go with those people, it's not just because you like looking at Miranda's ass because that's what the camera wants you to do. Like you're there for something else too, which is fun.
Right. I think the what you're saying with Josephine, that like you're a normal person for the most part. Yep. I think that's really in that world, right? Like that was why I was kind of drawn with what I was talking about with the chess player in Persona. It's like you're a normal teenage just rock star chess player, and I'm a phantom thief that's changing people's minds by destroying basically their id in their brain. And being able to, in your world, in Dragon Age, you can talk about it. Right? Yeah. Like I'm killing all these people. Yeah. Which I think was a difference in Persona, is like, you can't reveal you're the phantom thief. Right. So I think that is cool. It adds levity to like, she's like, I'm not killing people. Like, I'm just a normal, like, you're here with me right now. You need to be in this moment because you could be dead. Yep. For all she knows, you could be dead tomorrow because that's the kind of world that you live in. Yeah. That is really cool. I love that. She's also very striking, I have to say, like legitimately very striking design. Her facial features are very cool. Yeah. Yeah.
The thing about especially Tali and Josephine, and a little bit Thane because he's on his way out, but like those BioWare writers know how to write a flirt. Like they really know how to do flirting in a very like 2007 action movie kind of way, but in a way that's like, that's what this is. Like I get it. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, BioWare RPGs have never been my bag. I think Mass Effect 2 is like the one that I actually played to completion and for the most part enjoyed. I played Mass Effect 2 before I played Mass Effect 1 because it's the early 2000s and you get what you get.
I think that's okay. That's fine. I think that's okay. Also.
Perfectly passable.
You get what you get. But that was always my favorite part of that game was like, and that's really my biggest frame of reference because I played it all the way through, was just like that relationship dynamic with those characters. And I do remember Thane. Thane was a fucking badass.
Yeah, love Thane.
Yeah. Nate, do you have history with BioWare?
His design's
games?
incredible.
Oh yeah, no, I love all the Mass Effect games. Not a Dragon Age guy though.
Really? Different aesthetics, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like it's just one of those things that every time Dragon Age came out, I was so deeply into another fantasy RPG.
Something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nate, what about
it's
you?
It's very funny to think about that. Like the fantasy element, right? Is like Skyrim kind of dominated that field. And then everyone finally got sick of Skyrim. And then Baldur's Gate was like, here, this is what fantasy can be now. And now any fantasy game that comes out, like The Last Dragon Age, is going to have this enormous expectations of what a fantasy game can be. And it's just so unfair because nothing can be. Larian is the only one that's doing stuff like that. In a degree.
Well, to be honest with you, that is exactly what Skyrim did to me. Was like I loved Oblivion, so when Skyrim came out, I was like, oh my dude, like I skipped class, skipped work, like for like 3 days playing Skyrim. Yeah. So anything post Skyrim was like,
it's not the same.
Skyrim. You know what I mean? So that was me for sure.
Also, just since we talked about Vilgard, shout out to my gal, Nev Gallus. Noir magical detective. Yes, please. Thank you.
That sounds great.
I still have Vilgard downloaded. I do mean to. I heard that they made it a little bit more approachable.
Wow, her design. Holy shit. That's incredible.
Some art direction for you, my friend.
All right, boys. Calm down, boys.
That's so good.
She's so cool.
No, legitimately, that's just incredible art design.
What's this character's name?
Neve, Neve Gallus.
Dude, her fit is so dope.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Her like upgraded fit is also very good.
Wow.
She's dope.
Also, a magician who has she has a prosthetic leg. So,
Nice.
Representation matters, folks.
Heck yeah.
Nice. You can use it for a trick.
I'll never tell.
Oh, God.
Nate. Moving on to you, my friend. What do you got? Name
I
me
got
one that
so
you like.
we all know my obsession with Star Wars. It's a large part of my personality, and in Star Wars, there's a lot of really good romances. But my favorite one, I think, in the entire franchise,
Ooh.
comes from Cal and Marin from the Jedi
Yeah.
series.
Yes, dude.
From the place that they meet in Fallen Order to the place that we have ended off with them at the end of Survivor, it's such a good arc. They go from almost killing each other at first to being a kind of situationship where they're not a couple,
Yeah.
but there's definitely chemistry there. And then they have their time apart, and then they come back together, get closer than ever, and now have an adopted kid. Spoilers.
Spoilers, probably should have.
Yeah.
Come.
It's been a
It's
couple
fine.
years, you know.
It's been a few years. We're fine.
The third one's coming out this year. It's fine.
Yeah, the third one.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
watch the
sure
draft.
is.
No, this is
that's
one
a great call
always-
out.
Yeah, in all of Star Wars, might be my favorite romance. It's so good.
Also, she's a night witch, right? Is that right?
A Night
Believe
Sister.
so.
Yeah,
Night
yeah,
sister.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, from
they're the
Yeah.
witches of Dathomir. Yeah,
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
just incredibly cool to see that that culture be not just Asajj Ventress
Yeah.
and green magic. Like, it's
Yeah.
cool that they got to play around and
Mhm.
make them people, which is fun.
and also
Yeah.
the
Well, you don't
duality of
like-
that her being one of the last of her people, him being one of the last of the Jedi having this code about not supposed to have relationships, but in the situation they're in, it's like, are we really
Mhm.
not? That's
Yep.
Well, it's that classic, like, we're both alone, but as long as we're together alone, you know what I mean? They're like, to your point, they're
Exactly.
the last of their kind in those kind of regards. And it's just such a beautiful, that one that stands out to me as well, because it's that unlikely pairing that you're still rooting for in that
Mhm.
same regard. And like I said, they're together in the fact that they're both alone in the world.
Yeah.
I love that
Mhm.
about that relationship. Yeah, man, that's a great call.
It's a good pull.
The first time you encounter her is on Dathomir, right? In that
Yeah.
game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is. Yeah,
Very cool moment.
she's controlling.
Bill, are
all
you
the
saying you don't
tones and
like
stuff, yeah.
you don't like Savage Opress?
I don't actually.
Yeah.
What?
Savage Opress, the fucking Irish sounding fucking
Phil, explain.
by Mr.
I'm not going to take
Krabs.
this. What do you mean you
I-
don't like Savage?
I just don't like the name. It's a little on the
Yeah,
nose.
it's terrible. Yeah.
Oh,
the story arc is good.
Savage.
Yeah, 'cause it's
Savage.
small
Savage,
and
oppress.
savage, and it's they're
Yeah.
aggressive
Savage.
names.
Savage.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Who's
Listen,
this
it was a kid
freakazoid,
show.
dude? I've never
Oh, he's
seen this
sick.
guy.
He's super cool. He was a
Clone Wars?
he was a scrawny,
I
like
never watched Clone Wars.
it's
should.
worth
It's
it.
good.
He's a
I've
scrawny
heard.
Zabrak that then the witches used magic on him to make him fucking beefed up, and Maul is his older brother.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
siblings.
Yes.
Oh shit! I might have to watch.
Yeah.
That show has always. I mean, we're getting off topic, but
Oh,
Clone
yeah.
Wars has always been like my.
Hey, you want to talk about Clone Wars? There's a real good romance in there with Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might
real
have to
good
catch
one.
up on Clone Wars.
Legitimately, though, Rebels has some of the
Yes.
best moments in Star Wars.
freaking lutely. Yeah, it's so slept on, and people always shy away from it just because of the animation.
yep.
Yeah, the animation is a little weird, but
Isn't there a new animated show coming out?
Yeah, there's a Maul show coming out in April.
That's the one. It's the Maul show.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
the
the
Maul
final bit of
shows.
his story that we're missing, and I think after this, we're gonna have Maul's story basically from birth to death. And I think that's
yeah.
really cool. We don't have that for a lot of characters.
yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, guys, I have a romance that I want to talk about, and
But
that
it's got
is-
great character design.
Yeah.
or art direction.
Oh, I don't know. Are you talking about my first one that I have on the Run a Show?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yes, I am gonna go into one of my earlier, probably one of my earliest, like, I don't want to say it's like the earliest love story I remember in games, but it's the first one that I remember like imprinting on me in an impactful way. Final Fantasy X, I've said this before, is what depending on my mood, I'll tell you 7 remake or 10 is like my favorite Final Fantasy game. But Final Fantasy X for the longest was like the definitive one. You know, if we're talking about the game, it's got a great story. It's got one of my favorite upgrade systems in an RPG ever with the sphere grid system, the CTB combat system. But what stuck out for me here is the relationship between Tidus and Yuna in Final Fantasy X. If you don't know the backstory of Final Fantasy X, essentially, you, without giving away too much, because there's some pretty crazy twists and turns in that game, you play this character Tidus, who's tasked with essentially accompanying the summoner of this world, Yuna, to accomplish taking out this greater evil that comes around. I think it's every 10 years, I think is the lore. Every 10 years, I think. I forget what it is. And you are tasked with accompanying her to kind of get to that end goal. The reason that their romance sticks with me, though, like 20 plus years later, at this point, 25 years later, is I think that game does like it's a masterclass in bringing you through the friendship phase of the relationship before the romance. And I think that as young men, and anybody who's in that, I was 11 when Final Fantasy X first came out. As a young man and someone who's getting to that space where they're kind of entertaining romance, you know what I mean? I think that that's such an important like story to tell, is that really crucial part of like being friends with the person that you're romancing. You know what I mean? Final Fantasy X is just a masterclass in watching them become so tight in a completely platonic way. And then the romance comes, in the later portion of their relationship. It will always be one of my favorite love stories, to the point where when everyone knows that famous moment where they get to, I forget the name of the forest. It might be Macalania. I think it's Macalania, where they're in the pool and they're kind of just, it's cheesy, it's dumb, it makes no sense from like a physics standpoint, but they're kind of like hugging and then they kind of kiss in the water as they're kind of floating down in the water. It's such a like magical feeling moment that feels so earned. And I didn't get that as an 11-year-old. I was like, yes, they kissed. You know what I mean? But now kind of approaching these stories in an analytical way and looking for those moments to feel like they've been earned. It feels earned. It feels like you guys did this all in the way that it should be done. You kind of went from strangers to best buds to lovers. You know what I mean? And it's a great story. I don't know if you guys have experience with Final Fantasy X.
No, but when you were explaining it, I just remembered that somebody has put this game as basically like, yeah, you play as Tidus and you're not the main character. Like Yuna is
the main character.
And I think that's a very interesting take. And it kind of like when you're describing it, right, the becoming friends and stuff, it feels like, and I'm sure they got all their inspirations from tons of different places and stuff, but it feels like they were like, what if Link and Zelda traveled together and actually talked, right? Like instead of, because Zelda is always the main character in the Legend of Zelda games. That's the whole point. You just play as Link. And in this, it's like, okay, yeah, let's put Yuna as the main, like she's actually the main character. You're just accompanying her. And I think I've heard there's a point where it kind of switches and Tidus does become like, it's all of a sudden his journey. But I think that's really, that does really interesting. It is also funny when you look up Final Fantasy X Yuna, the second picture is her fucking dual wielding guns, gun kata style. And I have tons of questions about that.
Not a fan of 10
but I know that,
on the record. I'm not
I know that's from 10 too. Yeah.
Is that the pop star?
But I was
one?
just like,
yes.
Yeah. But the original stuff, both looks are great. But I think, that is very cool that you you had that like pivotal moment. It is very,
it just, like I said,
very important.
It feels like, I remember there's a Hayao Miyazaki interview where he's talking about like his approach to romance and relationships in his films, and he goes, I want to make it clear, like with my stories, that the relationship between a boy and a girl in my movies and my projects doesn't need to be romantic. We can have these platonic moments that are just as equally as beautiful and equally as powerful, that are purely platonic. And that's just such an important message to send young kids, you know what I mean? Because I think it molds a lot of your output on what your relationship dynamics are going to look like in your adult life. And Final Fantasy X, I feel like, because I feel like kids are kind of getting into those RPG spaces in their early teens, you know what I mean? It's just that same kind of feeling. Like, you need to see the platonic aspect of why the friendship is so important first and foremost before the romance. And that's why it felt very impactful. Even if I didn't recognize it in that moment, it felt super impactful in retrospect, because it informs a lot of the way I approach my own relationships now. Is like the friendship comes first before the romance. If the friendship dies, the romance is not even going to exist. You know what I mean? And I think it's important.
That is important. You're right. That is very, very good lessons to learn.
But Eric, I know you got a couple other things that you wanted to go through. What else do you got on your list?
Mine. So I have a couple. I can pick one that goes more along with my experience with. I played Mass Effect 1 and 2, and I don't remember my romances in there. I've mentioned multiple times my brain did not click to video games and stories until fucking Fallout 3 and our friend the tree, Harold, poor guy. But for me, more recently, the game that I put like 300 plus hours into 2 years ago was Baldur's Gate 3. And so who I'm going to talk about is everyone. No, they're all really fucking good.
Fair.
They're all really good. But I think, a lot of people will shout out Shadowheart. She's a very, very good story, straight to the point. A lot of overcoming stuff, and it's very cute. And she warms up to you after hating you at first and everything like that. You also have Karlach, who's just a golden retriever, who your whole goal is to, very early on, it is completely like consensual between the two of you. We need to figure out a way how I can touch you, because otherwise I burn to death if I touch you. And boy, is she horny. Like, she's like, she's been cursed with a demon engine in her heart. And basically her, yeah, at least twice. And she basically, like, she's just been burning up forever. And that's like, your goal is to find a way to fix her heart to the point where she can control it, which is really nice. And then you also have Minthara, which is, boy, if you like to be stepped on, go that way. You're gonna have to kill a lot of people, though.
Is she the in the goblin camp?
She's the dark elf. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. She's great. She's a very funny character. But I'm gonna talk about Lae'zel, aka Bazel. She is a Githyanki warrior who is extremely unlikable in the beginning. She's xenophobic. She's the very first person you meet, and she tries to kill you. She is devoted to a lich queen that doesn't give a shit about her. And basically, and you learn over time as you figure out more lore about the Githyanki. She's like 22 years old, and she's basically a fetus in the eyes of the Githyanki. And she just is a rude person who's trying to, if you don't know Baldur's Gate 3, you all get a fucking tadpole in your brain that's going to turn you into a mind flayer. And for whatever reason, like, you're trying to get that out. So you don't go through morphosis and die. Of course. And the Githyanki are at war with the constantly at war with the mind flayers. And so one of the worst things that could ever happen to a Githyanki is to get a tadpole in your eye. And so what happens is all she wants is to go get that removed. And that's all she cares about. And throughout time, you know, she's very upfront with you. She's very honest with you. Literally, she tries to sleep with you during the first like midpoint of Act 1. And you can say yes or no. It doesn't really matter. She literally, if you say no, she's like, fine, I'll find somebody else. I don't give a fuck. She's just like, it's all just carnal, like desire and things like that. And then you slowly, you know, she goes through her growth as a character late during Act 1. And you have a moment where she like her pivotal moment of like you becoming a couple, because she like refuses to like even acknowledge you as a possible mate, basically. She wakes you up in the middle of the night and says, fight me. You're like, what? She's like, I need to find out if you're strong enough to be like my partner. And you can beat her.
This is like the definition of like the thrill of the chase.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if I'm going to date this person, I have to kick their ass.
Yes. And she has, you have to like, you can beat her
Respectfully.
Respectfully. She challenged you to a fucking fight. Like she's a warrior. But here's the thing. If you're like me and you didn't know this was coming and she's your fighter, oh, she has a bunch of potions of fucking mountain giant strength and just drank them on her first turn and one shot me.
Oh, shit.
But that's honestly the better thing to happen, because normally what she would have done is slit your throat and been like, you're not worthy of my time. But she literally pulls you up and says, I cannot kill you. You have made me a different person and all this different stuff. And I don't want to spoil like where else it goes, but basically like they become a couple at that point. And it's just so fucking funny that this rude ass frog looking motherfucker who the first person you interact with, she tries to kill you, has possibly the best love story in Baldur's Gate 3. And she goes through so much shit. And by the end of it, it's literally like everybody in the game is like ride or die by the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point of Baldur's Gate 3 is that companions are so well done. And I've dabbled a bit in the Gale relationship and the Astarion relationship. I think Will is a fucking boring cardboard cutout of a human being. So I didn't even bother with him. Correct me if I'm wrong, whatever. But I've gotten everybody to at least their second like romance cutscene. And then I finished with Shadowheart and Karlach. And then I've seen a lot of what Lae'zel's is. And yeah, man, like she's just so well written. And like, it's so hard now whenever I go back, and I like to run through Act 1. It's like my new Skyrim, wherever, like I used to just play Skyrim for like 15 hours. Now I just play Baldur's Gate 3 through Act 1, because I always say this: Act 1 of Baldur's Gate 3 is better than 90% of video games that exist. It is that good. It literally, if it ended there and then Baldur's Gate 2 or 4 was Act 2 and so on, like it would be fine. Like it's that good. And it's so hard to be like, oh, I'm not going to have Lae'zel on my party, because the fucking romance is that good. Like it's so hard to not just like, every time I've tried to do another romance, because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just curious like how their story goes. I'm like, but Lae'zel's like right over there. And it's that good. Like she's so well written, and like it's just crazy to have this person that is just so unlikable and so bigoted and fucking hates everyone in the party, tries to kill your fucking healer in the middle of the night and like all this stuff. And then by the end you're like, she's the most loving person on the team and like will literally kill anyone for anyone on the party. And it's just so fucking good. And now all I want to do is play Baldur's Gate 3, just thinking about it. Like it's that good. Have you guys played Baldur's Gate 3? It sounds like Nate, you have, based off reactions.
I've basically finished Act 1, I think.
Okay. It's fucking good, right? Act 1, how like it feels, it honestly might be the peak of the game. But it's a real good fucking peak. Like,
it's good.
I was actually going to ask Nate and Phil, like, because I know Baldur's Gate 3 is obviously props itself up on the amount of branching story paths and choices, and how one person's playthrough can be completely different from another. I've never played Baldur's Gate 3 because I know it'll be my whole identity and it'll take up 9,000 hours of my life. So one day, but I guess my question is, like, did you guys have that same experience with what's her name, Lae'zel?
No.
Lae'zel?
Yeah.
No.
Did you guys have that same experience?
My only solo playthrough of this game, Lae'zel died very, very early on. So, no, I don't have any of that.
Way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that like missed her early on because she tries to kill you,
Yeah.
and then you can recruit her very early, or you can kill her. Like, there's a lot of people that have killed her, and I can't even imagine. There's literally a whole part of Act 1 that would be fucking pointless without Lae'zel being there, in my opinion. So that's wild.
Huh.
Who did you romance?
Shadowheart, but then I fucked up and
Yeah.
didn't get the actual, like, yeah. Yeah.
That sucks. It's a great
Listen,
scene. I
my
love
first run through, it was just blind and whatever happens, and whoops, make some mistakes and stuff. But, you know.
that. Yeah. No, Baldur's Gate. It's yeah. Shadowheart's a great one. There's no wrong choice.
Yeah.
I'm sure Will's is even fine, but Shadowheart's is my girl. Fucking Jennifer English, man.
I was gonna say, is that I don't really know, but is that the one Jennifer English plays?
Yeah, she's real good.
Nice. Phil, what about you?
I was also Shadowheart.
Okay.
I did let Asterion kill me though. So, you know, there's that.
To find out.
Yeah, just to know.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
to know.
Just to know.
You can just also dive to a mind flare in the first first area, which is really funny too. You can just let it happen. I should honestly stream Baldur's Gate 3 and just be like a no resetting, not an honor run, because why the fuck would I stress myself out? But just let the dice fall where they fall. It's just so fucking fun.
That's my favorite.
It is very funny that we all just went with the basic fucking conventionally attractive white lady.
But that dark elf.
Yeah.
Minthara
I could not remember her name, but I was like, I need to do whatever I need to do to make you be in this party, please.
Yeah, there used to be a very convoluted method to have a good run and still have her involved, which meant like knocking her out, then without resetting, doing everything that you had to do in the Goblin camp and all that, and then you could recruit her in Act 2.
I think that's what I had to do. Yeah,
she's great. I've had her in my party in a good run and a Dark Urge run, and yeah, she's. You want to talk about fucking ride or die? Minthara is fucking ride or die, man. She's there for it either way. She's great.
But, okay, we're gonna talk about romance in Baldur's Gate 3, and not once mention how at the end you can get
don't spoil.
frisky with the Mind Flayer.
What?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
That
was
all
actually
up in those tentacles.
I think that was patched in. I think it wasn't, but yeah, there's a very funny. Let me look up the achievement for that.
Or the bear. We didn't talk about the bear.
Oh, the bear.
The bear fucking.
That's like the whole thing.
Oh, everyone heard about that.
Everyone heard about that.
You want to talk about that, Phil?
That's all I know.
All I know.
Just know that you
That's all I
could.
know.
Yeah, no, it's Baldur's Gate just does it so well with romance, man.
Yeah.
Like it is so good. Like it is so good.
One day.
So I recommend it. I think you'd really like it. Let me see. Where is it? Oh yeah. It's called the romancing the Mind Flare achievement is called Mind Blown.
Yeah. Of course it is. Heck yeah. They know.
Yeah.
Too funny. Phil, what's your next shout out?
All right, it's time to bring it down again.
Oh boy, here
Hell
we go.
yeah. Make me cry.
I realized that a lot of the romances that have kind of stuck with me have been very they've been very mainstream, I guess. When I was trying to write down this list, the ones that have stuck with me the longest, probably just because, like, by virtue of these big games are the ones that I end up playing multiple times. But the one that I want to call out, it was between Judy in Cyberpunk 2077 or Yennefer. I think I'm going to go with Yennefer because it is a real tragic love story that could be tragic or is maybe not, in The Witcher 3. And I'm apologies to all the lore heads out there, because I'm about to just really ruin this, because I've listened to the books a ton and I have played the game a couple of times and I've seen some of the show. So how all of this works is all very different, but somehow the same thing. But the thing with romance and Yennefer, so Yennefer is a sorceress, the Witcher is the Witcher, and they have a fateful...
Oh, is that how it works?
That's how it works, man.
Yeah.
I got it. All right, got it.
They come together...
Let me write that down. Hold on one second.
Yeah. It's like one of the first... I think it's the last story in the first book. And I don't know if they show this in The Witcher 1 or not. But the whole thing that brings Yennefer, the woman with curly black hair and lilac eyes, and The Witcher, is that they are at a inn or somewhere, and at some point they have to do some battles, and a genie is involved.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yep.
So
you mean a djinn?
Jinn, yes. Sorry.
Jinn. Yeah.
So there's there's Jinn battles going on here. And what ends up happening is that Geralt has the last wish from the Jinn and realizes that Yennefer is a very headstrong sorceress and is planning to do something that would ultimately kill her. And so what he decides to do is use his last wish to make a wish. And at least in the books, they don't explain what the last wish that he makes is, but it ends up with them kind of falling in love and having this really conflicted relationship over the course of the books, and then also over the course of the games. In Witcher 2 and Witcher 3, you can kind of romance a bunch of different sorceresses because that's what Geralt be doing. But Yennefer will ultimately always come back. But the conclusion of that is you get the mission, the last wish, in Witcher 3. And so throughout the game, you've been having this back and forth with her, and depending on if you chose Yennefer as the woman that you kind of want to romance throughout the game, or if you've been being a dog and sleeping around, you will take
Does The Witcher 3 have multiple romance options? I didn't even realize that was
Oh, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So you go on this side quest with her called The Last Wish, and she has pinpointed where the different tokens are to combine them to resummon a djinn to basically break the magic that Geralt put on them with that wish. And this entire thing is a very conflicted it's a very conflicted mission, because you go through all of this work and you don't know what's going to happen. And you do the battles and all of this fun stuff. And then there's this like really beautiful, quaint moment of you sitting on the side of a ship that's in the mountains, just like looking out over this open expanse. And now the magic is gone. The thing that has tied Yennefer and Geralt together for years is just completely dissipated, and it's just completely gone. There's nothing tying you together anymore.
Yeah.
And Yennefer turns to you and says that she still loves you. And you are given this, like, you're given a dialogue option where you can kind of choose to go with it and, like, you know, agree that, like, after all this time, like, yes, we are still, you know, we are in love, or you can kind of go your separate ways. But the thing that really stuck with me is, I don't know if they reveal it in this, in the quest, but in the books at least, it's revealed that Geralt wished for their fates to be tied together, and that was his wish at the time, to save her, because the Witcher universe really cares about fates in a very interesting way. And so he didn't wish for them to fall in love. Like, this was never part of the plan. Like, it was like, I just need you, like, I have a destiny, you have a destiny, and I know that I have a destiny that will lead me forward into this world and keep me alive, so I need you to do that too. Yeah. And the with you part just kind of turned into this will they, won't they throughout the whole thing.
Right.
And I think it's like a really nice way to conclude that story. And then you add in the mission, or the DLC pack, Blood and Wine, And the whole point of that is you go to Fantasy France. A lot of Fantasy France with me today.
A lot of
Yeah.
France,
I mean,
Fantasy
you are a
Spain.
Francophile, so
Yeah, Fantasy Spain.
Everyone knows that about you.
So you go to Toussaint, and at the end of that, you get a vineyard. And one of the last things that I ever did in that game was Yennefer comes to visit, and you just, again, like you just hang out together and kind of realize that you've raised Ciri, you've solved the problems of this world. The world's still on fire, but like you're, together finally. Like you can finally take a break. And it's just these really quiet, quaint moments that end up happening in The Witcher that make that romance so powerful to me. Like removed from the fate, removed from the wishes, like the love still persists. Like that was not a part of the genie. That was just something that, grew over time. And it just so happened that because of the magic of the djinn, you kept running into one another. But at the end of the day, like you grew this love. And I think it's a really nice story.
Yeah, it's like that element of like I'm trying to figure out how I want to say it. Like we did this. Like we manifested the love of the relationship.
Yeah.
Like that the wish was not like I want us to be in love. It was like that was just like the nature of fate was it we did the work to get to that point, you know what I mean? Naturally, not like intentionally, you know?
And like the show definitely plays it up. I think The Last Wish is one of the first episodes of the show and definitely plays up the romantic angle of it, but I think the way that The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt deals with them intersecting and having the weight of the world on their shoulders is like really well done. Like it is definitely, I know that The Witcher 3 gets a lot of flowers for its writing, and most of that is the Bloody Baron and a couple of other quest lines, but like writing the romance for Yennefer and Geralt and trying to deal with the weird magic happening is also like really well done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also the
what did
Trismane.
you what did Tresme?
Trismane. Me.
That's the
other one, right?
That's the redhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you play Witcher 3 on?
The Xbox One, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious because I've heard I own it. I bought it once, returned it, then bought it again. The gameplay just doesn't click for me, but the world is so fucking cool.
Same.
I
I think I did the
that's why
exact same thing. I bought it. I
Yeah.
played it once. I don't think I returned it, but I think it was one of the like last disc games that I remember purchasing.
I bought it at
actually getting
Target.
the disc.
Yeah, I bought it at Target for like 50% off, and then I was like, "Oh, this is not it." So I returned it to GameStop for $45. So I was like, "Oh, cool, made money, great."
But I've heard nothing but incredible things. Like I think
Yeah.
it was just wrong timing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I might have been too stupid.
This is very much a
I might
throw
still
it
be
on
too stupid.
baby mode and get lost in the world kind of
Yeah.
game for
Yeah.
me.
Mhm.
That's what I did. Yep. Lowest difficulty, and I'm here for the story.
Yep.
Let me breeze through the
Mhm.
combat. Yeah.
Yep.
What was your experience with the game, Nate?
Yeah. Also on the Xbox One. Shoot, what, 2015, 2016? So like a decade ago.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Still holds up. I like booted
Still
it up
holds up.
like a year ago, and it feels like that game, and it sure looks like a video game. Like it does the thing where you're like, oh, this is what I remember it looking like, and it just kind of looks like what video games look like today. It's like not a 10-year-old video game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I love that call out. Like you said, it was like the romance was not the work of some magic spell. It was just kind of like the fate of us doing the damn thing. You know what I mean? And I love that. I love that.
Yeah. And she also has great art direction.
Solid art
Indeed.
direction.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah. I mean, raven-haired girl with lilac eyes.
Yep.
Like, come on.
Come on.
Yeah.
Eric's in.
Of course I'm in. Look at her.
She is a goth mommy, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nate, what is your next call out?
My next one isn't a. Oh. Phil.
Sorry.
Just activating Gianni. Just,
We got to do an episode where we just keep the group chat up in
No.
some regard on screen.
That'd be way too dangerous.
I don't trust it.
Yeah, that would be.
These are all in-game assets.
Assets.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not what we sent.
yeah.
That's not what we sent. We sent
Hey.
goopsits.
Hey,
Okay?
Layup was right there.
All right, boys.
My next one
Nate.
is not a traditional romance, and there'll definitely be people that kind of disagree. But it's such a tangible love in a way that's not sexual, but like these two characters that deeply need each other, and that is the Master Chief and Cortana.
Hell yeah. Although,
That is,
Dude,
although
the show.
we don't talk about the show is the thing. The show doesn't exist. That's
That's
unless.
Dude, it's so funny, and I'll let you get into your explanation here in a
yeah.
second. But I thought of that this morning when I was brainstorming my list, and I was like, I don't know if that's going to be too, like, are we playing with the topic too much? So I'm really glad you brought that up because I think it's an important one to highlight. So go for it, Nate.
Not all romances have to end in sexy time, you know? It's these two characters that since the beginning, one cannot really operate without the other. And when they are, they're at a lesser point. It's that time after Halo 4 to before he actually meets back up with her in Halo 5. Chief is at his lowest there.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he's at the height of like the Spartans and everything, but he's not in a great place. And that's because like Cortana was his rock. And she, up until that point, physically couldn't do anything without him. And throughout all the games, it's this, every mission is one of them needs the other and can't do the job without the other. And humanity wouldn't have been saved if they weren't a team kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And this whole time it's you feel that there is more of a connection there than just like business and they're on a mission.
Yeah, I think that is exactly where my head was at when I was thinking about it as well. Is you hit the nail on the head, which is like the Master Chief and Cortana relationship. And it's been a while since I played. I never finished Halo Infinite, so hopefully I'm not missing on any additional context. But like
You are, but I'll get into that.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm okay. Well, what I know of Halo 1 through whatever, like. The Master Chief and Cortana relationship is such a like great example of the power of companionship and like you said, connection, and why that's such an important piece of like if Cortana was real, it wouldn't have struck me as bizarre that their relationship was moving towards romance. You know what I mean? Because again, like my pick, Final Fantasy X, it kind of it places so much importance on the relationship building part first, the companionship, the partnership, and that connection. And that's Master Chief and Cortana is such a great example of that.
And they have so many moments over the games that's like, damn, like the connection is there. At the end of Halo 4, when I was like maybe that came out in 2014. I was a 14-year-old kid. That was maybe my first time like I got hit with that. Oh man, these two people that love each other are splitting apart.
Yeah.
And for the first time ever, she's able to like touch him for a second, and then that's it. She's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everything after that is like, oh, Chief's never been like a super vocal guy, but he's in a slump, and you can tell.
Yeah. He's feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Phil, Eric, what's your experience with Halo?
1 through 3 are Masterpiece, ODST, and Reach are also very good. Reach is probably the best game, and 4. The only thing I remember about 4 was it was the first time I played through it co-op with my brother-in-law, and we played it online. And I remember we played for like 4 hours, I think, and we were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, we'll jump back on like in a couple days and finish this off, whatever."
Finish
and I was
the
like,
fight.
I'll do one more mission, whatever. A plus. Yeah, you're welcome. And I was like, oh, I'll jump on and just do one more mission just because. And it was like, all of a sudden I beat the game. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I know that moment you're talking about in 4. And it definitely was like a bummer. But I just remember being like, did I just beat the final boss by pressing one button kind of thing? That's all I remember from the final fight in Halo 4.
Yeah.
Like, it was overshadowed by the fact that I was like, I used to fight a gorilla with a fucking sledgehammer and jumping around and doing stuff.
Mhm.
What was this? But I do remember at one point, like, feeling the same way about Cortana and Master Chief, being like, back when, like, because it's kind of sucks because Halo just hasn't been as good since Reach. I have just kind of like fallen off of that like wagon quite a bit, and like it felt like a premium franchise, and now I'm like, oh, they're still doing that kind of thing. It just feels like they have to. So I'm like digging deep into the recesses of my mind right now to remember how I felt, and I do have a little twinkle of being like, yeah, I remember that feeling as well, of being like, they are definitely like in love with each other and they need each other and they rely on each other. And it's a fully symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
Yeah. And to the point of
one can't exist without the other.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that in and of itself, even if you take the romance off the table,
right.
well, there is no romance on the table. And that's exactly the point. Is
Right.
like they have to coexist. There is no one without the other.
Is 4 the only one where he gets separated from her? Or is there another point in time where he is separated from
That's
Isn't
the
that's
entire
Infinite,
point.
right?
4 or 5 and Infinite. So
okay.
the whole deal with 5 is at the end of 4, you think Cortana's dead. But
Mhm.
it's actually, she was chosen to become basically like a higher being. And she takes on what's called the mantle. And she basically is like a forerunner god at that point, for lack of a better word. Yeah.
As you do.
And
Right. If I had
her,
an nickel.
the whole thing in Halo
Mhm.
5 is she's activating all of these ancient giant super weapons that are buried in multiple planets and stuff.
Mhm.
Reaches out to Chief because she wants to protect him in the coming, basically galaxy-wide flood, like from the Bible. And the point is for her to get Chief to safety so she can preserve him while she wipes out the rest of the galaxy and stuff. So the whole struggle there is, although a lot of Halo 5's campaign was done wrong and you see it all from a different perspective than Chief's, it's a whole story bit they shoehorned in that was Locke and his team hunting Chief. That's like, that should have been 25%, and instead it was 80. So the Cortana side isn't as touched on as much as I would have liked, but it is this whole decision of, oh, she's trying to save me while destroy the galaxy, but I have a duty to protect humanity. And so it causes this kind of adversarial thing between them. And by the end of the game, it's like, okay, we have to like go after Cortana and like disable her now, basically, and kill her. So the point of Infinite is when it starts, all that's already happened. And Cortana's dead. And the new Cortana that is in that is a imprint of her before she got rampancy. So it's like a younger Cortana that doesn't really realize what she is. And then it's Chief struggling with that, of having this new but old version of her, even though the real one that he's gone through everything with has just died. So it gets really, really complex, but the way they go through it in Infinite and where it ends is really satisfying.
Yeah, one day I'll play through Infinite. I booted up Infinite on launch, and unfortunately, I fell for all the discourse around Infinite, and I was just kind of like, maybe I'll come back to it. I know, I'm better than that. I shouldn't have fallen for that trap. But one day I'll get to it. How long is the campaign on Infinite?
So if you skip like all of the side stuff, like there is a lot of since it's an open world, there are things like VIPs to hunt down. It's
that's right.
It's very Far Cry-ish, actually.
Yeah.
So if you're just strictly mainlining it, I think 8 to 10 hours, but there's an optional for another like 15 plus.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're like hunting down crates and all of that stuff. But it's I don't know. I had a blast with Halo Infinite. Like that is I have played Halo 2, most of Halo 1 at some point, and then Infinite. And like I was a little bit lost in what was going on, but like that game was a blast to play. And like Nate, you're totally right. I hadn't picked up on all of the like implications of Cortana, like besides the stuff that I picked up just by being a person on the internet. Like I know about the rampancy and like all of that stuff, but like that dynamic, like as you say it now, is jogging my memory of like having a younger version of the person that you were like, you know, ride or die for. And then you have to go through that relationship all over again is like really intense in that game as like a really good emotional core. That Master Chief to me is not a person who has emotions. He's just a silent guy who can't look down a scope. So like it was very refreshing to like see that story come together. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the narrative of Halo Infinite is stellar. It's really good.
Good set pieces too.
Really good set pieces. Oh yeah.
I'm not going to gloss over the fact that Phil says he hasn't played through
Reach
or ODST.
I've started Reach. Oh no, I have played ODST.
Okay.
You gotta play
ODST
Reach.
is definitely you have to play Reach.
gotta
I was
play
going to say
Unhinged
ODST
number of games though to play in a franchise. Like it's really
okay, calm down, Mr. Metroid.
all right. Hey, it's different. I've played one.
You played the one. No, yeah, that you need to play Reach. Reach is the best story, cut and dry. Like it's just
it's not even
2 episodes ago, and I still stand by it. Fucking love the book. Why do I gotta play the game? I love the book.
That's true.
Because it's a different story. I'm sorry, Phil.
No.
The Fall of
Here's what
Reach
I'll say about-
is a different story than the game Halo Reach.
God damn.
Here's what I'll say about Reach. Reach is not my favorite, but it's the best. I think it's the best Halo game. Like, it's not my personal favorite, but I think it's the one must play, gun to your head, gotta play a Halo
Interesting.
game. I think
that
Reach
final
is the one.
mission in Halo Reach is one of the best missions in a first-person shooter
It's
ever.
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've started Reach a handful of times, and I don't think I've ever got past probably the first mission.
It's 7.5
very good.
hours. You can do it.
It is very good.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's a good pick though, Nate.
Yes,
I like
great pick. Great pick.
All right, what you got, Johnny?
Yes, my next one is going to be a recent one. And I know a couple of you guys also played and enjoyed, although I know Eric had some issues with his playthrough.
I was like, I thought we were going somewhere else off your list, and I was like, issues. I didn't even touch the game, but no, now I know where we're going.
So a very, very recent game. It was on my top 10 for 2025. I know there's a handful of games I could have picked, but I want to go with something that's pretty new because I think it does something pretty cool, and that's going to be Dispatch. I think Dispatch, on top of being just a great game, Dispatch has the cool telltale formula of conversation systems and so-and-so liked that, so-and-so didn't like that, so-and-so will remember that, so-and-so won't forget that. Dispatch does a really cool thing where it adds in the romance features between the Blonde Blazer and Visigal, and there's relationship building with all different characters in the game. The whole Z team, which is the team that you're in charge of, is eligible for kind of having those so-and-so forgot, so-and-so won't forget. You're building relationships with all these characters, and it kind of informs your conversations throughout the game. It doesn't change a whole lot about the gameplay, having played through it twice, with the exception of a couple things. Ad Hoc clearly had a very specific story that they wanted to tell with some deviation. I was able to play through the game and run through romancing both Invisigal and romancing Blonde Blazer. My first playthrough was Invisigal, of course, Team Invisigal all the way. The second time I ran through with Blonde Blazer. But the reason that I wanted to shout out Dispatch, and I know Nate and Eric, you guys can speak to this one, is the conversation and romance options in Dispatch as a whole is so much more nuanced than just like, oh, the tough chick needs to hear the tough answers, and the heroic one needs to hear the heroic answers. There's so much more to it, like that it's so situational and based on like what's going on in that exact moment or what you might have just experienced. It's not just, it's not cut and dry, black and white what you should be telling people. I always think of there's one particular scene in Dispatch where Invisigal is sitting on a park bench smoking a cigarette. And it would be so very easy to be like, you know, she's kind of having a rough situation. I don't want to spoil it. She's kind of going through a rough patch in the story. And it's not as simple as like, oh, offer her words of encouragement. There is a part of it is you kind of have to play to her personality very specifically. It's not just like encourage her because she's sad type of situation. So it just feels like a very nuanced approach to romance and conversation that you don't really get to see in a whole lot of games. And I know my third pick is going to also be kind of an extension of that concept, but I just thought it was really interesting because it's not a black and white morality system with the romance options. I don't know what you guys think.
Nate, basing on your reaction, were you also Invisigal?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's right, baby.
Phil, how are you planning on playing this game?
Probably not.
Okay, cool. That's why
I don't want to go like
I
full
know.
spoilers because I know it's still fairly new, but yeah.
I'm just going to explain why, because I've talked about it a bit, but I've never really gotten to explain why I went Invisigal. Not only is she just an incredibly written character,
I like
the
to be bossed
interactions
around a little bit, so that's
Yeah.
Oh no. I was having none of that shit.
Yeah. I like to be told what to do.
Yeah, we know.
We're learning about each other. We're learning about each other.
Blonde Blazer is like, even before she's your boss, your first interaction with her is she's basically like representing HR and trying to hire you, and gets drunk and tries to kiss you on your first interaction with her. Then you later find out that she's in a relationship. Then you also have the overarching plot of like, I don't trust this fucking corporation that plucked me out of obscurity to help me, and you are the talking piece for this. I don't know how the fuck anybody. She's an incredible character. I love Blonde Blazer.
And for listeners,
now
this
knowing
is
the
all
game,
in the first like 2 hours
literally
of the game. So it's not
literally. It's all the introduction stuff. So I don't know how anybody chose Blonde Blazer thinking that like things would have gone. Like, I know how they chose her because she's very attractive. But I was just like, there's no way this doesn't go south, because I had no trust in anything that was going on for most of the game. When as Invisigal comes around and she's like keeping it real with you, she's a piece of shit and she's okay with it. Like, I've interacted with plenty of people like that, and I'm like, okay, as long as you're like this with everyone, we'll be fine, like whatever. And I do think, those interactions that do lead to the romance with Invisigal. I don't know how it is with Blonde Blazer. I've only done the one playthrough. I'm saving my second one because we may or may not play it for short game this year. And that would be fun to reinvigorate the game for me. But yeah, that scene in the park,
it's a great scene.
And then the one that like kind of solidified the romance, where I was like, how could I go any other direction with the movie scene?
Oh yeah.
Is some of the best fucking writing.
It's great
in a romance. It's so good and so natural and so exactly what I wanted to do in that moment. And the game just chose it for me, kind of thing. Like, it was that moment where I was like, if I had a choice, I would choose this to do exactly this. Because when they lay it out for you as the choice, because you do make a choice, but you don't think that what you choose is going to lead to what the character does, but that's what I wanted, right? That's exactly what I wanted to do. And so it was so sick to be like, okay, yeah, this is how it felt just so natural and everything like that.
Yeah. And that was exactly what it is it feels earned, and it feels like it makes sense when you get 4, 5, 6, 7 hours into the game where you're like, yeah, no, clearly these people have fallen for each other based on everything leading up to this point. It doesn't feel like the forced, two main protagonists have to fall in love, because we've had those games before. I'll give it, for instance, my number 2 game of the year last year was Expedition 33. There is, light spoilers here, there are some romance options in the side content of that game. I don't know if you guys know this. And one of my only nitpicks of that game was when you get to that point, there's a scene that kind of indicates that 2 characters have fallen in love. And I remember going like, wait a second, how did we get there? Like, I didn't even see how the transition from A to B. It was like you went A to somewhere completely different. Dispatch is a great example of how to earn that moment and make it make sense. What I mean? Nate, what about you?
Yeah, no, I feel everything you just said, and honestly, to me, it kind of seems like the Invisigal one. When everything goes right, it's like, oh, this is the like canon written storyline. Like this is what it's supposed to be. All the other stuff is like, oh, if you want to shake it up.
Yeah. The Blonde Blazer storyline, not to say, again, having done both, the Blonde Blazer one it's still very nuanced in those moments, but to your point, like the Invisigal path seems like the story they wanted to tell. You know what I mean?
And it's that thing that it can go wrong very close to the end too. No spoilers, but like there are some choices in the last couple hours of the game that if you do wrong,
it can derail the whole thing.
Derails all of it. Yeah.
Like a real relationship.
When that movie theater scene happened, I was playing it episodically. So I, like, when it finished, I went and talked to my wife, and I was like, they just did something that's like so real, because there's a scene when, like, the beginning, I think, what episode is it with the dream? I think it's
the
like
start of
episode
4.
3.
It's episode 4.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah. And
Johnny replayed that one a couple times.
And
it's 4. Don't worry, we know.
That shit is so real, right? When you doesn't necessarily need to be a sexual dream about somebody, but you have a dream about somebody, and this is like somebody that you don't really think about that often, right? But you interact with them regularly, whatever. Happens in school, happens in work, whatever. And then all of a sudden you all of a sudden see them in a different light, and you start acting differently. And
based on something that didn't happen.
And you're doing that internally.
Yeah.
But then when Invisigal goes, oh, I'm just trying on what a relationship would be like with you, I was like, holy shit, she said the silent part out loud. That's incredible.
It was such a power move,
I was like, that's so good, dude.
Yeah.
Like, because that's what everyone's thinking in those situations when you have a dream like that. And then you're like, why is this person in my head? Because your brain is just doing shit, right? And I was like, I'm so fucking in with this relationship after that. I was like, this girl is extremely to the point with this. I'm trying on what it would be like to be in a relationship with you. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm on board.
Yep.
It was great.
It's great. Phil, I think you would really like Dispatch. I honestly think it's a fun, it doesn't seem like your kind of thing, but I feel like it's something like that is just, it nails what it does really well, that it might be the one where you go like, it might be the exception to the rule for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard a lot of things about it. It just ends up falling into the category of like newer game that everyone is talking about. And then by the time I get to it, the moment has passed. And
the moment's passed.
Kind of,
yeah.
Like if I don't have the impetus to get to it, but if we want to if we talk about doing a spoiler thing, I'll think about it.
Heck
I was going to say, Phil, you are on 2 separate podcasts, so you can always talk about a game you played no matter
I
what.
know.
100%.
Yeah.
You do not need to catch
I
lightning
know.
in a bottle.
That's-
You can just talk about it.
It's the rat race, though. It's just how it goes.
Fellas, do we have time for one more round? Maybe
We do a quick round,
on the
just a
quicker side.
couple.
I can be
Quick round?
very fast.
Rattle
with
them
the
off.
last
My
one,
last
yeah.
one's a speedy.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do that. Eric, what's your last one?
It's Roxanne from Sucker for Love, Date to Die For.
Hey, we
we
knew it
go.
was coming.
Because in the first game of Sucker for Love, you have multiple people you can end up with. There's 3 different storylines you do, and this game started out as like a game jam type of game. It was included in the DreadX collection. It was a very small, like less than 2 hours game, turned into a 4-hour game, and then my boy Akabaka, he went and made a game that was just one straight linear story with tons of different little references and things like that made it feel like you were playing different stories. But the thing is that Roxanne remembers everything, and so do you, the player, and you play as Stardust. So you're technically playing as an authored character. Just I'll show a little not Roxanne, but Stardust, who you play as. Peak design, very good. And then you obviously have, I'm showing off, this is all for clips, Roxanne, who art direction, real good stuff. But she's the goddess of fertility and lust, basically.
Obviously.
And as Stardust,
Clearly.
this is a very subtle thing at first, but then it becomes more obvious as time goes on. Stardust is immune because Stardust is asexual. So she has no lust to pull from. And so the relationship just becomes wanting to help Roxanne get out of this time loop of death that she's in because of a bunch of cultists continuing to summon her into the world and then take advantage of her powers and things like that, to the point of like her suffering. And over time, you take down different cultists that are basically like little mini bosses by, solving whatever problem is in front of you. And then eventually you take on the main culprit, whose name is Buck. And you find out why, how Buck ended up in this time loop as well, and all this different stuff. And you just end up in this relationship at the end with Roxanne, where you're just like, these 2 people fucking love each other. Like, they keep coming back for each other over and over and over again. And it's done so well in this fucking comedy dating sim with monsters in it. And that's why Sucker for Love 3 is like one of my most anticipated games, because I was like, I know he can do more, and now he has free reign to do whatever he wants. And this game is so legitimately well written, to the point where I was like, it's one of my favorite visual novel, probably my favorite visual novel I've ever played, up there with like Doki Doki Literature Club. And it's how long is it actually,
Eric?
Because I think,
and I apologize if I glossed over it while you were explaining it.
Mhm.
Didn't you mention that Akabaka's one of the characters is like based on their wife?
Roxanne.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Then there you go. I think that's an interesting. I think that's a really interesting facet of it as well.
Yeah, Roxanne is, and if you want, I have an interview with Akabaka where I talked with him for about an hour on Short Game Long Talk after we covered this game with Chris. Remember, fucking third co-host of the show,
Mr. Nerdlease.
He came,
Mr.
Mr. Nerdlease. He came on and we interviewed him about all different kinds of things and talked about, and we got props for all of the little hidden details we found. Like, there's an Artorias reference in there, Gianni.
Really?
From Dark Souls 1. Yeah, straight up an Artorias
the homie,
reference.
Dude.
There's all these little hidden meanings to things in the game, and like, there's just so much love put into it, and you can feel it in the writing as well. Like, there is a situation, one of my favorite things of like Stardust being asexual and being immune to the powers of Roxanne's lust, is there's a scene where accidentally Roxanne gets like all drenched in water, and you're like, oh, of course this is going into some crazy like sexy scene. And Stardust goes, oh, let me get you a t-shirt. And she just gives her a giant oversized t-shirt that says always in the mood, MOOD. And it's got a cow on it.
Hell yeah.
And it's this oversized t-shirt. And the picture of Roxanne with her arms out, like looking so disappointed that her trick of getting herself all wet in her clothes,
Didn't
like
work.
having to change out, didn't work. And it's so fucking funny. And it's like all these like legitimately laugh out loud, cute moments in this game that I'm like, I gotta get you boys to play it, man. It's like legitimately so fucking good. Johnny, this is a perfect Monday morning game because it is 4 hours long or 4 or 5 hours long.
I might have
Like
to
you
do
could
that.
take it. Dude, it is so good.
I've
It
never
is so
really
good.
played a game like this, to be quite honest with you. So
Thank
that
you,
would be
Phil.
fun.
It's incredible.
With the visual aid.
And I think Chris has that that design on a mug,
Hell
like
yeah.
on a coffee mug.
That's hilarious.
And you guys don't even know like how much this image is like telling of like moments that have happened in the game, and like that smooch meter up there, like what that means. Like it is a really big deal, like all of the things that are in this shot alone. Like there's so much more to this game than just like, oh yeah, you're gonna smooch an eldritch horror that's well designed and stuff. The first game is more like that, but it's still even well written, and this one just goes in a whole other direction, and it's so good. I think you would enjoy it on stream, Johnny.
I might have to do that. It sounds
Yeah.
interesting, and I know you've gushed about it on other
Oh yeah,
pods as well. So I'll definitely have to check that out.
yeah, top tier. I need a Roxanne plush, but they are no longer being
They're
made.
illegal.
They're illegal. Damn, Johnny. Damn.
Who's next? Phil, what's your last pick?
Yeah, mine's pretty quick. I'm still playing through this game right now, but I feel like we've gone through the path of BioWare games, which is mostly just that first date lead up and then some smooches, and then then we have the Yennefer thing of like Fated, all of this magic going on, and we're gonna riff on that a little bit. One of my more recent favorite romances in video games is Banishers, Ghost of New Eden. Banishers, I guess, like a early spoiler for the prologue of this game, but basically you start the game as a husband and wife team of Banishers. Your job is you've been sent to the New World to help out at New Eden, which is a place in New England that has a ghost problem. Ghosts are real, and you, Red McWraith, and your wife, Antea, are a husband and wife duo who are here to solve this problem. And you play as Antea in the beginning, and then something awful happens, and Antea dies, trying to save Red against ends up being the big boss of the game. And so the rest of the game you play as Red, but you are a banisher and ghosts exist, and you are haunted by your wife. Antea is the second part of all of this, and basically the beginning of the game, once you get through the prologue, is the setup for the rest of it. And the thing that you're doing here is you're given a choice between, I have the ability and the magic to harness all of the soul energy of the people I can help throughout the game, so that at the end I can bring my wife back to life. But it would mean doing everyone dirty here and just like being a selfish asshole about it. Or you decide to help the people and kill this final ghost so that your wife's, unfinished business is solved and she can move on move on into the next realm. And the entire game is them being the happy-go-lucky husband and wife team that are like flirting with each other and kind of ribbing each other throughout the game. But there's always this undertone of she's not actually there. Like she is like a ghost who can attack the ghosts, but it is just an incredibly mature relationship that I think is portrayed incredibly well and very believable. And then it ends up having this throughout the rest of the game, you confront the choice that you made, like whether you decided to harness the souls or not. And
Yeah.
it continues to come up. And the thing that it's like tragic, right? Like it's a tragic story that the wife is dead and you're being haunted, but they still have fun with it, which I think is the part that is, makes it a little bit easier to swallow. And they make fun of one another. Like they are still that husband and wife duo as they go. And the single most like arresting image of this game is it has like a bonfire mechanic basically, where you can find like safe places, usually in like bombed out houses or in caves, and you light a fire as Red. And the rest animation that you do is like every single time I do it, it like gets me like a little twingy in the heart, because what ends up happening is it does a time lapse. So Red lights a fire and then he lays down on a bedroll, and it does a time lapse for the rest of the day to basically like get you back to where it is. And Antea is a ghost. She doesn't sleep. So she is constantly just like zipping time lapse speed all over the screen. She's like looking at Red. She's laying down next to him. And it's just like every single time it like really gets you. And then in a seamless animation, Red stands up and it does this really cool thing where both Antea and Red stand up, and you'll have to watch the clip because it is like truly magical how they do it every time. But he stands up and she walks past him and then disappears. And like every single time it sets up that like he is sleeping and is like being admired by this woman that loves him so, so deeply. And then it reminds you that like, okay, time to go to work. And then she's gone. And it's like an incredible love story. It is a relationship at its end, both at like they have achieved we are a stable relationship and a strong partnership. And also Red has to work through, and Antea has to work through the grief that they know that when this is over, they have to move on. Like they have to like banish this thing that they had. And I haven't finished it, so I don't know how it goes, but it is like a beautiful story. And it's nice to see a love story that is like mature and like is built on mutual trust, from an interesting place in games.
And I think that's an interesting perspective too, is because like, we're at that age. I don't know if you guys all have all four of your grandparents in your life at this point, or I've got my grandfather, and like, I promise this is gonna make sense. But there is always that perspective of like how the grief changes a person when they're the one left. Yep. You know what I mean? And I think the perspective that you're giving with Banishers is so fascinating because it's showing that from the other side, that grief from the other side, and how the person who's passed is handling that same exact grief. You know what I mean? I think that's a really fascinating perspective to look at it from.
I didn't know this was from Don't Nod.
Yeah.
I just looked that up.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, this is interesting. I knew about this game. Once you mentioned it, I was like, oh, yeah. I've heard about that. But that does intrigue me, that I love dropping into a world where somebody already has that established relationship. I think it's really fun, right? Instead of you developing it, it's like you're playing as one half of it. You're like, it's already there, like you get to have that fun. And then this, that is brutal. Like she dies, but she's not gone. And you as a player know she's not really gone because like, it's a video game, so you still get that. But then you do have that every moment of realization where it's like, okay, one, she is gone, she's dead. And two, this either has to end or like it does have to end eventually. And you're going to know when it's going to happen. And you basically have to decide to kill her again after all of this. Or you choose not to. And be the selfish asshole, like you said. And it's like, that's really cool. So this is definitely added to the wish list. That's that's a very cool premise. That'll definitely get you thinking
Yeah.
and feeling for
and
sure.
and it's a
And
group decision too. Like that's like the other thing that like she is there, she exists. So like having the discussion in the beginning of the game of like, what are we gonna do about this? Like,
right.
they talk it out, which I think is like
Right.
this game is basically like combat style is compared to God of War 2018. Like style setup, like how the game plays, the combat, and like what you're doing in it, like it's very God of War 2018. And I think they nailed the emotional storytelling in this a lot better than that. And it really comes down to these two people talk to one another. Like it really is the power of like, we're not just yelling about boy and then having like machinations about things that are going on. Like they are a true couple that communicate very openly about what's going on. Like all the way down to what the fuck are we going to do? I am dead. Now what? And it like continues to come up.
You'll have to find that animation because I tried to look it up, but I obviously don't know the terminology to find it. But that sounds like that rest animation sounds
It's
insane.
nuts. Yeah. It's like really affecting every time it happens.
So,
Heck yeah,
Phil,
damn.
it's kind of perfect you bring up God of War because that was on my maybe list.
Really?
Because I really gravitate towards that story of Kratos and Faye. It's this thing that's already happened. You get this relationship through the conversations between him and Atreus and like a small handful of flashbacks, but it's enough. You know, the world is filled with moments that remind you, oh, Faye was important and like to the land and to Kratos in a very, very large way. And it reminds you, I think, just enough throughout both games that that relationship is still like tangible, even though she's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil, it sounds like you maybe were a little more mixed on the God of War stuff, is what I'm picking up.
Yeah, a little bit. I think
Sounds like-
it's more of just like how I feel about that game, thinking about
Got
it
it.
5 years after I played it. But yeah,
Got it. Yeah, because Nate, I think that I don't know if this was kind of like your third one that you were going to kind of dive into. but-
This would have been like fourth or fifth, but
Yeah, I think Faye is such a cool thing because it presents that part of, I know some of us are parents on the pod, but it's kind of like that love of your partner as a protector of your tribe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the love that comes with that part of your relationship. You know, it's a different kind of aspect of the relationship, and I think that's the cool thing about the story of Faye is you kind of see the Kratos sees where he's lacking. It's not out of like being hard on Atreus or being just this rigid, literal God of War, but he knows that Faye softens him to that in a way that makes their dynamic work. Because when again, like we going back to Master Chief and Cortana, like they have to coexist with each other because they supplement what the other one doesn't have. And Faye is just as important to the parenthood aspect of their relationship as she is to the actual like romance part of the relationship. So I think that's a great pickup. Neat.
but my actual third was going to be from Fallout 4, and that would be Kate. I think that is one of the few Bethesda romances that I like really, really gravitate towards. Because
Oh yeah, that's a
you
good
had
one.
the
That's a good one.
situation,
I had to put the face to the name.
Yeah,
situation
I
in
can't
which you
remember
meet her in like that raider fight ring, and then having her as a
I
companion.
remember Kate now.
Yep. Having her as a companion
real
and
good.
slowly learning about her to the point of then bringing her to a vault to get completely like detoxed and clean from drugs and stuff,
Yep.
and then building that like relationship with her. It's one of the few times in a Bethesda game that I'm like, oh, this feels natural. This doesn't feel like, oh, I pressed the right buttons and I got a romance. It like actually built in a way that I believed and was like, yeah, That would happen in the Wasteland.
Yeah, I don't remember this storyline as much as I would like to. But Bethesda just they do good work with these relationship building mechanics for sure.
Yeah. No, this one I remember I remember the companion quests in 4 were one of the stronger aspects of that game in general, but I do remember this one standing out quite a bit for the same reasons you mentioned. Yeah, it's a very especially because it's one of those, it feels random when you come across her for the first time. It doesn't feel like, with like Piper and fucking what's her face, Lydia and Skyrim and things like that, like where you're like,
Don't get me started.
Which I'm now realizing I should have fucking mentioned.
Serana.
Serana from fucking Skyrim. The holy shit, actually, like
who'd have thought? Eric wants to talk about another vampire lady.
It's so off brand for you, Eric.
When did I talk about a vampire?
I don't know. That's
goth mommy.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, okay. I was like, I do not consume very much vampire media. I was so confused. That Kate is a very, very cool one. And she's just a really fucking good follower.
She's a really good follower. Yeah. She's got some of the really, really funny lines of dialogue and stuff, especially in combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my last Fallout 4 playthrough, which was like, I don't know, over half a decade ago, was lesbian power couple, Kate and Nora, which was very fun. Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, hot take. Fallout 4, my favorite Fallout. I know it's not a
Jesus,
popular opinion.
Have y'all seen the fucking Kate art from Fallout Shelter?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
It's pretty intense.
Hold on. This is great. I'm sending her in the game.
Listen,
It's very different.
yeah.
Very different.
What the actual hell?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, on the note of Bethesda RPGs, we will close it out for the final pick, and that is going to be the very positively received 10 out of 10 game that is Starfield.
Worth the wait.
Worth the wait. There you go. Starfield, again, another hot take. I adore, and I think I'm gonna get a consensus here from the Starfield players here, but I adored Starfield. I loved Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
I played it like it was one of those. It brought me back to not quite on the same level of Skyrim. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This is not me equating Skyrim with Starfield. To be clear.
I don't know. You heard it, folks.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it in there.
But like Starfield was like when I wasn't playing Starfield, I was thinking about Starfield. It's the same way. Again, hot take. How I felt about Avowed. When I wasn't playing it, I was thinking about it because Starfield's main campaign quest is not even close to the strongest part about Starfield. Yeah. But the way that the side stories and relationships end up kind of coming full circle and intersecting towards the end of the campaign is what makes the main campaign so special. And I'll tell you why. Spoilers for the end of Starfield. Massive spoilers for this end of Starfield. So if you don't want to hear spoilers for the end of Starfield, and guys, please help me fill in the gaps because it's been a while since I played Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
Once you find out that your character, correct me if I'm wrong, you are the Starborn, correct? Or the star.
Well, when you
go
go through the Unity, yes.
Exactly. That's my point. Starfield does a really cool new game plus mechanic where probably, in my opinion, one of the coolest ways to explain a new game plus, which is that it is actually part of the lore of your character and the overarching story, which is New Game Plus is you basically entering an alternate reality of your reality, to experience it in different ways and see the different ways that the universe operates.
And that my best and most favorite part about it, best mechanic, your knowledge carries over and the game
Yes.
knows it. There are new
The game-
dialogue
the-
options and stuff because you've already been through it. It's
The game acknowledges that you have experienced this before, to the point where you can like introduce conversation pieces before about events or things that inform kind of like your knowledge or what you know about what's going to happen. So you have this kind of like weird foresight. Anyway, I'll stop gushing about Starfield as a whole. But the reason that I needed to set up that mechanic is because through the course of Starfield, you can romance like 3 or 4 characters.
4.
4, yeah.
4, right. The best, of course, the best being the homegirl Andresia.
Literally the only option.
Oh, dude. Andresia is who I romanced in Starfield. And again, common theme here for what I find important in these romance stories. It feels earned through the course of the game. Bethesda does a really, really good job of presenting you with dialogue options and dialogue. One thing that I think we should mention is like dialogue responses. The way these characters react to how you interact with them, it's so believable and it feels so earned when you have the moments of you might disappoint your romantic partner in many, many instances. But when you start to see the gears like turning and then them go from kind of being just a cold ally or a cold stranger to an ally, to a companion, to a friend, to a, you know, will they, won't they type situation, to finally where they're kind of like calling you by pet names or, you know, kind of talking about your future. When you get to the end of Starfield and you have this opportunity to go through I forget the thing.
Unity.
The Unity. They present you with this like kind of this moment where it summarizes all of the different choices you've made along the way and the connections that you've built, and kind of go, you're about to let go of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's all gone. None of it is going to carry over with you into this next, you know, phase of, you know, this alternate reality. The moment I had in that game where I was like, okay, I don't mind giving up this. I don't mind giving up this. I don't mind giving up this. I'm like, but man, the relationship I built with Andresia felt like a labor of love that I was like, and now I just have to let go of it and it's gone forever. And I could rebuild it, but will it be the same? Will it be the same thing? And I think that is such a like special moment in Starfield based on the way that they built it mechanically that I've never seen in a game before. And it was a moment I've never had where I was like, fuck, I'm like, I have to let go of Andresia. Like, you know what I mean? And it's this like weird moment of like, you feel like you're letting go of something that you really care about. You know what I mean? I don't know what your guys' experience was in that moment.
My experience is Sam Coe is also fucking hot.
There you go. Yeah. same concept.
Listen, if you go through a universe enough times, everyone gets a shot at some point. You know?
You want to sample the goods.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, see, I left my playthrough off, like, I entered the Unity, and I was like, it's not my world, though. This is not my home. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
I won't go off on it now, but we're having a Starfield tangent on something at some point, because I have such a singular experience with that game. I could talk for hours about it.
Yeah. So I kind of stopped once I went through the Unity and I kind of saw the like slight tweaks. And then I was like, this is a perfect place for me to leave it, like from just my head canon, to go like, and now we push forward with maybe that's the same adventure, maybe it's different, but I don't have my Andresia.
Yep. Yeah.
What about you, Phil?
So I love Starfield. I disliked Starfield for a while I was playing it.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment that you're talking about in the Unity was kind of just like an aha moment for me. I think that it is the thing about Starfield is that they built an incredibly cool and kind of perfect new game plus mechanic that was so good at explaining the theme of the game that I didn't go into it. Like I went to the Unity, I saw it, and I had the moment that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I just said, no, thank you. Like I will go back to the world I was just in. Like there are no quests for me to do. There's nothing else to do here. Like I have finished everything in this video game. But it is more important to me that the life that I had and the people that I leave behind, I stay with them. Because like what's the point? Like the whole point of this story is about humanity and finding the next thing. And to me, like I just couldn't leave them, because after all the shit that you go through at the end of that main quest, it seems wild to me that like you have this marriage ceremony with an incredible woman who escaped from a space snake cult, and then you're just gonna leave
it.
Yeah, no, Andreja is incredible. I wish they did more with her in Shattered Space, which was kind of a disappointment. But she is such a cool character, and you're totally right.
She is.
The writing that they do here with the like pet names and like watching that relationship evolve is so cool, and something that like you don't really see a ton in RPGs this size that feel as organic. And then also I just would never expect it from a Bethesda game. Like,
right?
I know that it's like not fair to say like it's really good because they would never, and somehow they did. But like, holy shit, it's great.
Yeah, the first time, I know this is gonna sound crazy, dude. Just for the record, I'm not actually in love with Andreja in real life.
It's okay.
Like the first time she hits you with the "my love" pet name.
Yeah,
I remember like my ears perked up and I was like, oh, like
that's new.
You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's different. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. And then what you said about kind of like, do you go through the Unity or do you stay at home? It's kind of an extension of the question, like, if you could live forever, would you want to live forever if everyone around you couldn't? And it evoked that same thought process in my head. And I think for the sake of like seeing what was on the other side, it piqued my curiosity enough. But in retrospect, I remember I was like, it was almost felt like the tragic ending for my character of going kind of like, well, I guess I suppose I should, you know what I mean? It felt like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yep.
Where now I'm on the other side and I go, well, now I'm sitting here on this, you know, these steps with all these books and my glasses have broken. Yep. That's what it felt like for me. You know what I mean? If you've ever seen the classic Twilight Zone episode, that's what it felt like, where I was like, but it's not what it's everything I wanted, but at the same time, it's none of what I wanted.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that is why it's such a powerful moment.
I love
and
that
then sometimes it's all just Sarah Morgan.
Yeah, sometimes it's just Sarah Morgan. Yeah,
like literally everyone is Sarah Morgan.
Yeah.
I love that we've all had such different experiences with Starfield, because my first character that I started the night that game came out, I am on New Game +9.
Wow.
And have had quite the journey that we will save for another day.
I might have to pick up Starfield and like run through it more. Like, you know, obviously I don't think I'd have time to do all but this is my question about Starfield just in general. Once you've completed the main campaign, my understanding is that all the New Game pluses are much quicker than
there's
the original playthrough.
You'll see
there's an
option, so you can choose to do it all from the start again, or you can bump yourself to like basically, I think it's like the 8-hour mark.
Oh shoot! Okay,
yeah,
I might have to boot up Starfield again, you guys. I might have to boot up Starfield.
See your girl.
I gotta see my girl.
That's so funny. I have a game for you guys, and Phil's already played it. He was a guest on my show.
So this is going to be an honorable mention for me, for sure.
Yeah, if you like the time loopy, have to reset, give way to your choices and get rid of everything you've done to try again. I Was a Teenage Exocolonist is
Oh,
a real fucking
You
good
guys have talked about
relationship.
this before.
And honestly, what you guys were describing, I was like, did they just cop this whole fucking thing? And I did check. It Was a Teenage Exocolonist came out like a year before. So I'm glad that Teenage Exocolonist did this on their own.
Yeah.
Because, when you guys were describing this, I was like, oh, it's just Exocolonist. Like,
It's similar. The way that they treat it at the end is similar. It's mostly just doing the like end of game RPG like slideshow, except it's in a 3-dimensional space you can walk around, and they say
Walk
like,
around it.
Yeah, which I think is the important part, like being able to walk around the 3D model of the person that you love, and it tells you a thing about how you've impacted their life. Is like, oh, huh.
You're like walking through a diorama of like all your choices.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's this weird, like humbling moment of the things you maybe felt you did wrong or the things you did right. It's so good. Starfield is so good.
Yeah. So wait, I just want Phil. Your honorable mention was Teenage Exocolonist.
Oh yeah, it was Tangent for sure.
Hell yeah, dude. That's a great pick.
She's
You can
great.
save that for. That's a wild journey.
I mean,
Maybe
I
I'll
guess
make
it
a project for a future episode.
carries through
man.
the theme of just bummer love stories for your guy.
Oh,
But
one of the biggest, no matter what. Because the cool thing about Exocolonist is that no matter what the stories, like, there's no guarantee that you have a happy ending, no matter what. And it's a very powerful mechanic. I've never played Starfield, so it was interesting to hear you guys talk about that. I already knew the twist, though.
Okay, I was
already
like,
knew
well,
the
we
Videogame
ruined it
Plus
for
thing.
you. So
No, I already knew that coming in.
it's still worthwhile to play the game just from
it's not gonna. It's just the fact that there is a time loop as the new game plus means nothing. Like in the grand scheme of like the journey.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's all about.
and in
I don't know if
classic
I'll ever
Bethesda
play it.
fashion, the side stories is like where the real
Right.
good shit is.
Yeah. And I love that
I'm still
those side stories can be changed if you've done the new game plus and gone through Unity.
Yeah.
You've done that before. It's
Oh, interesting. Yeah, the faction missions are just like incredible in that game.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good.
Yeah, I'm curious if I'll ever touch it. I don't know. Bethesda's not really my bag anymore. Like they've kind of
Understandable.
fallen deeply off of what I used to enjoy. And honestly, like the type of games in general are just not what I enjoy anymore. I like to take my time and like I don't know I don't know what the combat is like. Any what is going on?
Thinking about my other gals in Starfield.
Gotcha.
Phil's got
Oh,
a stable of gals.
but maybe I'll get hands on it.
One day. It's worth it.
One day.
Worth it.
How long is
It's
it?
an investment. It is an investment.
Yeah, it's lengthy.
Yeah.
You're talking
Yeah,
about
'cause
another
I was
50,
like-
60 hour.
Yeah,
situation.
main story is 23 and a half, and I was like, oh, that's not bad. Main and extras is 75. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
shit.
That
Okay,
sounds
never mind.
closer to what I have in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. I think that was a fun exploration of the romances that make us tick on this lovely holiday. I hope it was as fun for you guys as it was for me.
Yeah,
That was a lot of fun.
absolutely.
Well, before we get out of here, you guys know the drill. Where can the people find you? What are you up to these days? We'll start with you, Nate, Heroic Head.
Heroic Headgear everywhere, Twitch and TikTok. I'm really hoping by now I hit affiliate because that'd be cool. Making
Make Nate
helmets.
affiliate.
Making helmets. I think,
sure.
Probably by this time the next one is live, the next giveaway, but we'll see. I'm not 100% on scheduling of when things drop and when I'm making stuff yet. Who knows?
Who knows what
But I'm
we're
making
doing.
stuff.
He's booked and busy lately.
I'm busy. I'm doing
busy.
things.
Phil, Mr. 70% Complete. Where can the people find you? What are you up to?
You can find me at 70percentcomplete.com. You can also find the video essay stuff I do on YouTube at youtube.com/@70percentcomplete. Relevant to this episode, my actual first-ish not the first video I put out, but my first actual long form video essay was about Starfield and how I played it wrong.
Wow.
So go check that out. I dig into a lot of the stuff I just talked about in more depth and probably more eloquent, but that was, like I said, an early video, so who knows?
Eric, Mr. The Human, where can the people find you? What are you working on?
Mr. the Human on everything except for Twitch. If I ever someday get partner, that's going to change. That's the only way I found out that I can get my actual just Mr. the Human on Twitch. It's it's a dead account that no one has touched and I can't get it. Mondays, Umas, Wednesdays, something else. Sometimes Sunderfolk, sometimes something. Maybe it's Ace Combat 7.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Baldur's Gate 3 and I'm doing a Lae'zel romance. Who
There it
knows?
is.
Yeah, come check me out. And by this time, I think in a week will be a episode of Short Game Long Talk about Beacon Pines featuring Mr. the Nerdlies himself, Chris. And I'm so excited to talk about that. I'm hoping by the time that comes out that Phil has also played that game because it's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny, what about you?
You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Twitch. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Threads. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Blue Sky. Check me out. Gianni DeCrosta. I'm the only one, the one and only. So make sure you go look me up. I'm sure you will find me right now on Twitch. I am probably still, depending on what kind of progress we make in the next couple days before this goes up, playing through Dark Souls 2 Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also, on the date that this is going up, a few days ago, streamed with the man himself, as Eric just mentioned, Chris, Mr. the Nerdlies over on Twitch. My first playthrough of the brand new game Reanimal. So go make sure you check out that VOD, maybe up on YouTube by this point. I'm not sure, but go check out the Nerdlies over on Twitch.
Shit. I forgot I'm streaming that too.
Yeah, Eric.
I forgot we're planning ahead. I'm streaming it on the 13th and 14th, the day it comes out. I totally thank you, Johnny.
Yes.
Holy shit.
So this is probably going up on the 18th. So I'm sure there's a VOD for Eric, Mr. the Human, on Reanimal as well.
One or two, maybe, yeah. Hopefully it doesn't take you guys 7 hours like Little Nightmares
God,
3.
don't even start it on Little Nightmares 3. Jesus, what a time.
Your favorite game of 2025?
Oh, God damn it. No, not even close. Great hanging out with Chris for 7 hours. Not great playing Little Nightmares 3 for 7 hours. But other than that, we are going to leave it there. Thanks for hanging out on this cozy, romantic, sexy, spicy episode of the Content Mill After Dark.
After dark.
I got places to go, homies. Thank you for hanging out. It has been an honor and a privilege. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Bye-bye.